In today's video, Barcelona is studying a historic loan that would bring the legend back to the Camp Nou. A surprising statement from Wayne Rooney about Messi, and then about Cristiano Ronaldo. And before we begin, don't forget to share your opinion in the comments. Is Argentina capable of winning the next World Cup? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit like, and share. Barcelona is studying a historic loan that would bring the legend back to the Camp Nou. Sources close to the situation indicated that Messi's recent visit was completely personal, full of emotion, and born from the player's desire to return to the place he once described as what he misses most from the bottom of his heart. With no official coordination or prior contact with the club's board, this unexpected visit reignited journalistic speculation about a plan supposedly being discussed in very small circles within the club, involving the possibility of Messi returning to Barcelona on a 4-month loan from his current club, Inter Miami of the United States, in what would be the Argentine superstar's final European dance. Carrasco drops a surprise. Messi's return is worth $300 million. Spanish journalist Carrasco, a specialist in Barcelona matters, revealed through the TV3 channel some enormous economic estimates that the club could generate if the temporary agreement becomes a reality. Pointing out that revenues could range between $200 and $300 million in a short period, he explained that the gains wouldn't be limited to traditional income, but would include an unprecedented surge in digital interaction and the club's following on social platforms, streaming channels, and television networks, stating that the numbers could be so high that it's difficult to calculate them right now. Messi's jersey, pure gold. In another angle of the benefit, Carrasco noted that Messi is still the player who sells the most jerseys in the world, which would make his return generate fantastic profits in sales, especially if the club launches a special edition of the star's final European jersey, a potential return with both sporting and economic value. These developments confirm that Messi's return, even if only for a short period, would be a double-impact move. On one hand, it would give Barcelona the opportunity to bring its historic icon back home, and on the other, it would represent a massive economic boost for a club seeking new sources of revenue after years of financial pressure. With speculation increasing, the question remains: will the secret visit turn into an official return that brings Messi back to the Camp Nou one last time? A surprising statement from Wayne Rooney about Messi and then about Cristiano Ronaldo. Before we begin talking about anything related to the eternal controversy between Messi and Ronaldo, I must say clearly that what Lionel Messi showed in Argentina's match against Angola demonstrates once again that we are looking at a player who cannot be measured by traditional standards, nor evaluated with age logic or conventional tactical parameters. Messi today, at this age, performs like a player in his 20s, a player still hungry, eager, anxious to prove something, even though in reality he doesn't need to prove anything at all. In the match against Angola, from the very first moment, I felt that Messi stepped onto the field as if carrying a personal responsibility toward the fans, toward his teammates, and toward the sport itself. There was absolutely no relaxation, neither in his attitude nor in his movements. His first touches were enough to understand that he entered the match with a very serious mindset. Despite it being a match that any major star could consider an opportunity to rest or to participate only symbolically, Messi is not that type of player. Every time he steps on the field, he puts his passion above everything else. What he did during those 90 minutes against Angola is much more than a goal or an assist. The way he asked for the ball, how he created angles for himself, his commitment to pressing at certain moments despite physical circumstances and age, these are details that only someone who understands the game from the inside notices. Great players are guided by their inner desire, not just by instructions. And Messi is the best example of a footballer who listens to his passion before anything else. What distinguishes Messi from any player of this generation is that he does not treat friendly matches as simple, formal commitments, but as a new opportunity to add something to his story or to remind the world what kind of player he is. Messi did not enter the match intending to say he is still the best, but he walked off the field having said it without uttering a single word. What really impressed me is that Scaloni bet on him from the first minute. Some saw it as a risk, and I understand that. But at the same time, when you have a player like Messi, you know perfectly well that starting him is not a risk, but a guarantee. Any team in the world becomes more stable simply by having Messi in the starting 11. And that is exactly what happened in the match against Angola. The Angolan fans, the historic occasion, the pressure of the environment, all these factors made the match more complicated than it looked on paper. But Messi handled it as if it were an official World Cup match. The numbers say it, the overall image says it, and his impact on the collective functioning of Argentina says it. The most important thing is that Messi does not try to respond to criticism with words. When I read and heard some voices saying that he has become a burden or that his presence generates pressure, I smiled. Because a player who makes the difference in this way and who also walks off calm, smiling without entering controversies, cannot be a burden. A player who makes a difference even when he is not at his best cannot be described that way. Just that sentence is enough to stop any illogical debate. And if we look beyond the match against Angola and observe Messi overall, we see that he is offering mature, clean, consistent football, as if his experience has transformed into a new form of creativity. He is no longer the player who runs for 90 minutes. Now he is the player who knows when to touch the ball to impose the rhythm of an entire match. This evolution has made him a more valuable footballer today than at the beginning of his career. Before, Messi created magic with speed and dribbling. Today he creates magic with his understanding of the game, and that makes his continuity something extraordinary. After all this about Messi, let's move on to the second part, the topic that recently caused a big stir, Cristiano Ronaldo's statements. And honestly, going from talking about Messi to talking about what Ronaldo said reflects the difference between the two at this stage of their careers. One speaks on the field, the other speaks with words. When I heard Cristiano say, "Messi better than me," I don't agree, and I don't want to be humble. I wasn't surprised. I've known Ronaldo for many years. I know how he thinks and how he sees himself. And I know that this phrase for him is not just an answer, but part of the personality that many admired throughout his career. Great confidence, pride, and an extraordinary ability to challenge. These qualities made him one of the best in history. But even though I understand his nature, I believe that this kind of statement no longer benefits him. Because the moment is different, because the circumstances are different, because Ronaldo today is not the Ronaldo of 2014 or 2017. The game has changed, the stage has changed, and even the public has evolved in its understanding of football. When I played with Ronaldo at Manchester United, he always tried to prove things with actions, not with words. He trained more than everyone, worked harder than everyone, focused more than everyone. That was the Ronaldo I knew. That's why when I now see a statement where he seems to be trying to prove something emotionally and not on the field, I feel that something has changed. The comparison with Messi is not new, but years ago, it was a balanced comparison at a footballing level. Today, the comparison is no longer fair. Not because Ronaldo is a weak player, but because Messi evolved differently, while Ronaldo is still fighting against the natural transformations of a career. The truth is that saying, "I don't want to be humble," reveals that Ronaldo still feels an internal conflict, a conflict not between him and Messi, but between him and time. And that is a feeling every great player experiences at a certain stage. Some accept it, others resist it, others wage a verbal war against it. The problem is that humility is not weakness, it is strength, and Messi is the greatest example of that. The best in history. Never spoke about himself, never said he was the best, never entered controversies. But every day he added something new to his legacy without saying a word. And when you compare a player who scores and assists in a difficult match against Angola and enjoys football, with another who goes on a TV show to repeat that he is the best, you understand where the difference lies. You don't need much experience to see the full picture. In the end, I want to be clear. I deeply respect Ronaldo and will continue to respect him. He is a player who gave a tremendous amount to football. But I believe the best way to protect his legacy is not with these statements, but by accepting the stage he is in and playing without entering unnecessary disputes. Meanwhile, Messi continues to show that the field is his only language.